here.
Got it.
All right. So, yeah, we will be talking about sharing your message and building your tribe. So with that, I would like to tell you a little bit about myself. Gary Perrault, the T is silent, it's French, although I'm mostly Italian outside of what you can tell by I grew up in LA and I'm mostly American. But I'm a former Intel sales and marketing engineer and a real estate investor slash entrepreneur, which is where I learned and why I learned most of these skills. I'm currently writing a sitcom for Netflix and a novel for general public. So God kind of redirected me and told I got prophecy after prophecy that I was a writer. And he actually downloaded the idea for the novel. He actually downloaded during a prayer session years ago, and I've just been struggling to get that done. So finally, I just said, okay, I'm going to stop, put my investing business on hold. I've got some passive income coming from that, and now I'm just going to write because that's what the Lord's been telling me to do. And I'm also working on a pilot program, a marketing program with a local chiropractor. They've got a ton of YouTube videos that are doing them absolutely no good. They're gorgeous content, but nobody sees them, and nobody, even if they did, they wouldn't know how to really connect. So I'm going to help them with their business. And so this really is not my primary business, but I do have a lot of knowledge and experience in this area. So I'm happy to share it with you. So we're going to be talking about promoting your business or your ministry online. And the first thing to do is to just be yourself. You be you. You don't have to be Tony Robbins, Bill Johnson, Chris Valentin, Larry Spar, any of those people, Lance Wallnau, whoever Chris Reed. You don't have to be any of those people. You just have to be you. And if you have a story, you have things that you've accomplished, things that you've challenges you've overcome. You've got goals and aspirations that will inspire people. And you don't have to reach everyone. You just have to reach your audience. So I'm kind of going out of order there, but the key is know your audience. Know yourself, what the Lord has brought you through, and there's that scripture that says we will comfort those with the comfort we've received. Well, we'll also be able to benefit people with the life lessons that we've received, and God will use that. The other thing is to be consistent. Don't just do it once and expect a bunch of stuff to happen. This takes time to build up, but it will build up surprisingly quickly, and it won't build up if you don't do it. So the key is to just set a goal, set a priority, set a plan, and stick to the plan. And don't worry about it if it's you'll have to do things that are difficult. I probably should have put that in here, is be willing to do difficult things that other people won't do. And just being consistent and sticking to your plan is something that most people won't do. Most people don't want to do video. If you don't want to do video, well, you probably shouldn't be on this call if you're not willing to at least try. So not everybody loves video. I don't love it, but I can do it, and I'm now comfortable with it. But I still tend to procrastinate. I tend to avoid it. So for me, it's definitely a discipline. But video is such a great way to engage with people, because at the end of the day, you want people to know you, to like you, and to trust you. If they know, like, and trust you, they're willing to do business with you or spend time with you or whatever it is that you want to do. So would you, I don't have a way to look at the chat when I'm sharing the screen. Maybe I do. Let's see, if I click on chat, can I see it? Yes, I'll put that down here. So why don't you guys just right now, if you could, Kayla, you're driving. I don't know if you can do this on your phone, but if you guys would just say, are you more business oriented or ministry oriented? I'd just like to see what the audience primarily is that I'm talking to. So just go ahead and in the chat, if you can, click on the chat down at the bottom, and then just tell me ministry or business. Now, the last thing I want to do, and this is also in the same vein of trying to get you moving is production before perfection. Okay, business, business, business. We see a lot of business folks, so I'll be lean. That's what I tend to lean more toward. But ministry second, ministry oriented. Okay, Dana, thank you for that. But again, the principles are primarily the same. Even in ministry, you want people to know you, like you, and trust you. But again, it's production before perfection, because the perfect video that doesn't get produced is not worth nothing. Whereas the video that's authentically you, even if it's not perfect, will still do fine, because people don't expect perfection these days with YouTube. Uh-oh, let's see where. Okay, so I have a scroll button on my mouse, and if I tap that, it's very sensitive. So I got to be careful not to tap that. So now what we're doing is, I want to ask you the question, who owns your audience? Okay, so it's very important. We probably could have talked about this more. And if you need help in the area of choosing your audience, I didn't spend a lot of time in this, but if you have some questions about it, you can go ahead and ask. But you have to focus on your audience. And a question I have is, who owns your audience? Or where do they hang out? You got to get to know them, but also you have to have a way to connect with them. So if you're primarily using Facebook and YouTube to connect to your audience, you don't own that communication channel. They can shut you down in a moment. And I know I have friends that, for no apparent reason, they're not posting crazy stuff or inflammatory stuff, and yet they got shut down. And one person never got their account back, another person, it took them months. So you really have to be careful. The other thing is that the algorithms are not under your control. Now, you can utilize the algorithms, and we'll be talking about that a lot today. Utilizing the algorithms to boost your relevance, boost your exposure. But the algorithms can limit your audience too. And so what you need to do is you need to get people from social media onto an email list. Once you have an email list, you can then connect with them and promote yourself and provide services, provide value. The key thing is you want to be a person that they look at when they see you in their inbox, they want to click on that email, they want to open it. So you need to be providing value before you ask for something. Now, Facebook and YouTube channels are assets. They can actually be sold. So you definitely want to develop them, but they are unreliable. Your greatest buildable asset is your email list. Any questions there? All right. So what are the 3 basic steps to building a social media following? One is you got to build a tribe. You get to know them. They want to like you and trust you. You use videos, blogs, etc. All these things we'll talk more about in detail. But basically, you have to build a community of people that know you. Then as you engage them, they learn to like you and trust you. You provide them with valuable, fun feedback. Okay, you want to engage them. You want to get them to communicate back to you. So on your Facebook posts, you want to put stuff out there and ask a question. When you're commenting on Facebook, you don't want to just be a spectator on Facebook. You want to be a producer. You want to be somebody who's sharing content, sharing information, and not just spending an hour, dilly-dallying, looking at other people's stuff. You want to be the guy or the gal who's putting stuff on there that people are looking at. And a great way to do that is to engage with them. Videos are great. Facebook Lives are great. We'll talk more about that. But again, you want to ask questions, get them to reply, get them to start replying to things, and then eventually get their email addresses. And then you collaborate with them. This could also be marketing to them. So you build, engage, and build a tribe, engage a tribe, and collaborate or market to the tribe. Because once they trust you, they're willing to spend their time and or their money with you. So how do you build a tribe? Well, there's lots of different ways. Facebook Live is a great way to start, but Facebook Live, and because Facebook they are trying to promote connections between people, and live videos bring an audience to them. So they value that. So they promote that. So if you're doing a live connection, um, I just saw a notice pop up that said my internet is unstable. So if it becomes too much of a problem, you can let me know in the chat, or go ahead and unmute and say something. So hopefully this is working. I can see fine. And again, Facebook Lives, they're great because Facebook tends to promote those more because it's interactive. But what happens is they will pass away quickly. So you don't see videos from a year ago. You only see what's recent. But Facebook Lives are great. You can take those lives and you can repurpose those to Facebook with, excuse me, with YouTube. YouTube, I'm sorry, I was going to point, and instead so with YouTube, content stays forever. And so you build up a following. And this is like a billboard that never goes away. So we'll show you how to use your YouTube content to push people over to other areas, because eventually you want to get them over through here to your landing page. Everybody wants to come over. So your YouTube video should point to your landing page. Your blog should point to your landing page. Your Facebook Lives, every time you put something out there, you should have what's called a call to action. What do you want those people to do who are looking at your video? It might be good to have a little sign of your landing page on a QR code. Have it printed out. You know, you can just print that on a piece of printer paper, and you could put that up on a stand. So, like at the end of your live video, you could point. You could put the stand up right next to you, and you could say, and just click on the link right here, and you can go ahead and we can start a discussion. You can offer them an ethical bribe, you know, something that some piece of content that will be valuable to them, because you always want to trade them something for them giving you their email address. And again, that's your everything here is going to be ending up at your landing page, which is not a big, huge website. Big, huge websites are great, but they're not essential. You could just have a one-page website that just has some compelling graphics on it, an offer of here's my top 10 tips for running a laundromat, if that's what your target audience is. Whatever your target audience is, have something that will appeal to them. And we even have some content later. There's a link where you can figure out what good titles are for some of your blogs or your content. Other things. So podcasts, a lot of people think that podcasts are complicated. They do take some work that's more than just doing a YouTube channel, but it's getting simpler and simpler to do a podcast. And that is a great way to build a following. LinkedIn, not all of you are, well, most of you are business oriented, but I think LinkedIn is a great way to build a tribe. You can do videos on LinkedIn. You can share your opinions on LinkedIn. You can take other people's comments and share them to your tribe, and then start commenting on their stuff. So LinkedIn is a great way to connect with influencers, because you find the people that are posting information to your target audience, and then you start commenting on their posts. You start pointing to their posts. You start adding to it. Like they may have a description of a market update, let's say, and then you may say, this one piece that you talked about is extremely valuable. I've seen this work for people who are, great point. Thanks for posting. Now you're making them look good, and you're promoting them to their tribe. And pretty soon, that's a great way to connect with people that you want to connect with. Maybe you can interview them on your podcast. Maybe they have a podcast where they can interview you. But that's a great way. LinkedIn is a great way to make connections with people. And then the email is definitely where you want to bring people. One thing about LinkedIn is that you can use it for a newsletter generator. There's a creator link you can turn on. It's a creator app in LinkedIn, and you can actually create an awesome newsletter in LinkedIn, and LinkedIn will actually email it out for you. So the great thing about that is it's not coming from your email domain where it might be blocked and put into the spam filter. It's coming from LinkedIn. So that's a great way to enhance your visibility with your audience. All right. Any questions? Great. So this is a sales funnel. I just wanted to put it out there. So what we're doing is we're looking for leads. Leads come in a variety of ways. Sometimes they are people who comment on a video in YouTube or in Facebook. Sometimes you're paying for leads. Sometimes you can generate leads in a variety of ways. That's beyond the scope of our discussion here. But then prospects are people that you've actually narrowed down and you have some sort of contact with and connection. And then once they buy from you, they become customers. And what I think, in my experience, the most overlooked part of a business is your current customers. A lot of customers wash out because we're not connecting with them. Once they've spent money one time, they're the easiest people to sell to again. So the easiest people to sell to are your current customers. The next easiest people are past customers, people who bought from you but haven't bought from you in a while, and you need to get them refreshed. So again, in your social media marketing, and especially in your email, you should be focused on providing value to your customers. Now, developing content, that's a intimidating thing for a lot of people. So what are the ways that you develop content? Not everybody's a writer, but you don't have to be a writer. And I left something off here. I thought I had it on here. I'll talk about it in a minute. I'm actually going to do a live demonstration. But interviews are a great way to develop content. People who are interested in the same kinds of things that you are, sometimes they might compete with you a little bit, but I really wouldn't worry about that, because if they're willing to come on to your interview domain, whether you're doing it on YouTube or Facebook Live, whether you're doing it on a podcast, interviewing somebody who, as long as they have the same customer focus that you have, you are you're going to benefit by helping them promote their business. Because what will happen is the better you make them look, the more likely that they are to promote that video to their audience. And when they're promoting you themselves to their audience using your interview, they are also promoting you. So not only do you make sure that in the interview, everybody knows how to get a hold of this person, this wonderful person that you're interviewing, but they also have a way to interview you as well. Daily Facebook Live interviews are a great way to do interviews, and just a great way to develop content in general. The thing to remember, and we'll talk a little bit more about Facebook Live videos in a future slide. But for writing is sometimes more intimidating for people than actually getting on a camera. But PLR is publicly licensable content, and you can if you just Google PLR, content, you will find a plethora of sites. Here's one that I happened to find. I'm not endorsing them. I wanted a nice, compelling graphic, and so I just searched on Google for PLR. I brought up a bunch of them, and I clicked on the best looking picture. So, but again, reach out to me. I've got sources for PLR if you're interested. But that's licensable content. So you can get for sometimes you can subscribe for a low cost, and when you subscribe like $2.99 a month, you can download a bunch of free material, and then some of the material you actually have to pay for. But it's like $3.99, $5 for yeah,
100.
100. You might be, a few dollars for, 50 articles on, barbecue, barbecuing, barbecuing or, recipes or whatever it is you're trying to sell. You know what? Give me an example. Why don't you guys, I like Joshua's answer, businessry. So why don't you go ahead and put in the chat what your businesses are, so I can. I'm kind of drawing a blank on examples, but if I know what your businesses are, I can, like, for instance, Dutch Andrews is in real estate, so you could have you could get 50 articles on rent to own or seller financing or things like that. You don't have to generate it yourself. You can also get full courses. Now you'll have to pay for this, but you could get, if you wanted to teach a course, you could actually go into PLR and find a complete course, already with PDFs and CD masters and the whatever you want, to create your own, to sell your own course, to market your own course. Sometimes you can edit it, sometimes it's you can't, but an amazing amount of material on PLR. Health and wellness, educational life coach, spiritual life coach, leadership. Okay, thank you for that. So a lot of coaching. So using Facebook. Now, the great thing about Facebook is that they love video. And so video is promoted by Facebook, and it's enjoyed by the audience. So people are very captivated by videos. So that's really the best way to post. Videos can be repurposed for YouTube, Instagram. You can put them in emails. But also, there's a whole way of engaging with people on Facebook. So when you make a post, what you're really trying to do is get people to engage with you. When they answer back, so if somebody likes a video, that does something. It helps. What it does is it tells Facebook you're important to that person. And so Facebook knows who that person is. They have a profile of that person. They say, okay, that person liked the video. So we'll tend to show that video to more people like that person who liked it. Now, how many of you think that clicking on a button that says I like it versus actually typing in a comment, which do you think is going to be rated higher or more highly by Facebook? Clicking on a button that says I like it, or actually typing in a comment? Go ahead and put it in the chat. Either like or comment. Catherine says comments. Anyone else? Joan Robin, comment. Okay, so you guys are getting it. So you really want people to engage with a comment. Yep, Joshua, excellent. Poppy, excellent. So how do you get somebody to comment? You either put something out there so awesome that they have to say something, or you ask a question. And fun questions are great. Surveys are great. What's the thing you most are looking forward to eating at Thanksgiving dinner? Okay, just get people, pick something that is current and coming up on, like Thanksgiving. That would be a great one. But if you are in a group and you're focused on a group, you focus on the things that group is talking about. And we'll talk about Facebook groups here more in a minute. But again, you want to get engagement. So asking questions, and then when people do reply, you're always going to back in and comment to their replies. If somebody liked something, you're going to ask them, hey, I see that you liked that video. What'd you like best about it? Just always ask this question, see if you can get them to answer. Not only will that increase your relevance and boost all of the stuff you post, it'll make it all more important, but whenever somebody comments on something, it boosts it back to the top, and so more people will see it. So that's another good thing about getting people to comment on your on your uh, videos and on your posts. So want to talk about Facebook groups. So posting on Facebook is great, but again, you're trying to build a tribe. So how do you build a tribe? Well, one way we talked about is if somebody comments on something, you start a dialogue with them and say, hey, I'm interested in that too. As a matter of fact, I have my top 10 tips. I'd love to send it to you. What's your best email address? They send you their email address, you send it to them, and now they're in your email campaign. But so that's a way to get build off of Facebook, which again is our primary goal. But Facebook groups are extremely powerful because again, Facebook is a free platform. So they say if it's free, then you're the product. So they're trying to sell advertising. They're trying to get people's eyeballs engaged on their platform, so they don't go to TikTok or someplace else. So they have found that company pages, the pages that you associate with your profile, those for a while were the way that Facebook was allowing people to promote themselves. But now that no longer works unless you're using paid advertising. And as I said, videos can quickly disappear. So Facebook groups are a way that Facebook likes to connect people. They're looking for how do people connect. And so if somebody joins a group, Facebook tends to promote that. They tend to favor that. And it can be extremely useful for building a tribe. And then you go back from the on the funnel where people were leads. Everybody in your Facebook group is a lead, and once you start getting them into Facebook, you might have a public group where anybody can join. Then you have a private group where you're trying to get people in your Facebook group to go into that private group where there's more interaction. But again, and when people join your Facebook group, how many of you, what's one thing that you sometimes information you have to give when you're going to join somebody's group? They sometimes have a questionnaire, a form that you have to fill out. What's the primary thing that people ask you when you want to join their Facebook group? Anybody in the comments? Email address. You guys are sharp. So that's Evelyn's got it. She was the first one. They ask you for your email address. Now, asking for people's email address, will that cause some people to not join your group? Absolutely. But what is the purpose of the group? The purpose of the group is to get them to the place where you can send them email. Because if you can send them email, not only can you build trust more quickly, but you can also send them offers in your emails. I know a lady in my mastermind group. She started marketing to realtors, and she's not even a realtor, but she just she was in real estate, and she now has 200,000 people in a Facebook group. But again, she's always trying to pull people from her Facebook group into her email. And now she's got an email list that's over 20,000 names on it. And she can just come up with an offer, and send out an offer for $19.99. And if she gets a 2% rate, I mean, you do the math, but she can generate thousands of dollars with one email. How do you what are the kind of steps that you use? Well, first of all, you have to know what's interesting. So what are people already interested in? And what are those groups named? So, if you have a passion for real estate, or your, houses, like a contractor, or your home services, what is something that people who care about those things would be interested in? Go online, search for what people are already interested in, and join those aligned groups. Sometimes you can even find groups that are geographically oriented. So if somebody's doing contractor, it doesn't help you to connect with people in New Jersey if you're in, North Carolina or Northern California. So you can search for groups that are geographically oriented. You should join groups that are aligned, even if they're not geographically oriented, because some percentage of those people will be in your target market. Start commenting in these groups, start posting in these groups so people see you as somebody who's active. Comment on those groups, make other people look good anytime you post. Figure out who the real leaders are, the most active people, and start engaging with them. One thing that's very effective is that you can come alongside the organizer of the group, and you can offer to help them. Like if they're posting, start commenting on their posts, start making them feel good about you because you're always making them look good by your positive comments, and then say, hey, I noticed that some of my posts, it takes a while for you to get around to approving them. Would you like some help? Or I'm pretty good with Facebook. Would you like some help running the group? And then in exchange, you can start having the ability to market to that group, to place offers in the group. Normally, somebody won't let just anybody start, promoting their stuff in the group. They'll shut them down. But if you're helping them run the group, then you can make offers in the group. And you can even take over underperforming groups. If you find a group that looks like it's the right target audience, but nobody's posting in it, offer to take it off their hands. And sometimes people just let it go. Sometimes you pay them $50, but if you could pay $50 for a group that's got 5,000 people in it, that's probably worth it. All right. YouTube. What I love about YouTube is that people love YouTube. I probably watch more content on YouTube than any other. I don't watch Fox News. I don't watch CNN unless it's something that's that I see on YouTube that sparks my interest. And I entertain myself. I learn about emergency preparedness. I learn about prophetic stuff and all kinds of stuff. So the great thing about YouTube is it lasts forever, and it's free advertising. And what you have to do, though, is you have to make sure that you are doing the right things on your videos. Like I said, I've got a chiropractor who has tons of amazing content and useful information on YouTube, but it's not doing them any good because not that many people are seeing it. And if they do see it, it's not really positioned in a way to bring them traffic. Now, Google does own YouTube, and so they're searching constantly for videos. So a lot of times videos will be the first thing that comes up. If you have a well-performing video on YouTube, that's a great way to get on page 1 of Google, free, without having to pay for a bunch of search engine optimization, SEO. But if you do use SEO-friendly keywords and good hashtags, that will help you rank on Google and on YouTube. So everybody knows that Google is the #1 search engine in the world. In the chat, I want you to tell me what you think the #2 most used search engine in the world is. Anybody? Oh, I'm sorry. I have to scroll down. Okay. Catherine said Pinterest. No ideas. Yep. Now, I'm thinking of his names. His last name is stuck in my head, Tyler, because I see Poppy here. Nelson. So Nelson got it right. He said YouTube. YouTube is the #2 most used search engine in the world. And so what you should be doing is in your descriptions, you should be putting searchable terms in your descriptions. And we'll talk about how to find out what people are searching for in a minute. But always leave your landing page at the top or the bottom of the description. Now, again, I've talked, after YouTube. Catherine, okay, sorry, Catherine, I wasn't fair. Catherine said, I thought you meant YouTube. No, Google's #1, YouTube is #2. Again, what's the purpose of a landing page? Anybody?
To direct traffic to you.
No, that's, well, okay. Can you refine that?
So you create your landing page as a funnel to be able to get people to your landing page to then be able to give you their email.
Yes.
Or...
Again, email address. That's always the focus. That's so you had it in there. I just wanted you to explicitly state it. So thank you for that. And so you're always leaving your landing page where people will come, and for an ethical bribe, they will give you their email address. Sometimes you can even luck out. You can even ask for people, hey, if you're interested in this, pop your email address below, and we'll do it. Now, and I'll say, I'm talking about email, but sometimes you might say, you know what? In my case, I find that people don't understand what I'm doing, so I really need to get them on a call. So maybe the call to action is not going to your landing page and giving you their email address. And if you're especially if you're sending them an email, you know, you already have their email address. So what's your call to action then? Another call to action might be taking them to your calendar page, set up a call, because if you start talking to people, like say, those of you who are in construction or in real estate investing, you know, again, you'd love to get those people on the phone with you, because that's when you make money. You make money when you're talking to people on the phone, and that may be the call to action. But another thing about YouTube is they are being pressured by TikTok and Instagram for all these short reels. And you know, even Facebook is doing it now with the stories at the top of the page. So YouTube is using shorts to increase just their engagement with people. So try using shorts to increase the exposure. We'll talk about that a little bit more on the next slide or foil page. And again, start sending video links in your email and newsletter to get more people. You want to get more people looking at. So even if you've already got their email address, you can send them to your YouTube channel. Because again, you always want, remember the diagram we had with blogs, podcasts, all, you want every part of your marketing program to reinforce and strengthen every other part. So if you're sending out an email and you send somebody who's interested in that, clicks on the email and they go back to YouTube, now YouTube generates that as somebody who's watching it, and that boosts your relevance on YouTube. So YouTube Shorts, again, they are being heavily promoted, the less than 60-second videos. And the views on shorts can boost your relevance and exposure. You can also put a call to action in your short, but even if all they do is look at it, if somebody watches one of your shorts, then your other videos, your longer videos, where you have a full call to action in the comments, those will have more of a tendency to pop up in their queue. And so again, shorts are a great way to be an entree into people watching your longer form videos. The way that you create a short is that you have to keep it under 60 seconds. You make it portrait style, not landscape. So it's like you were taking it on your phone, but turn this way, not this way, or probably not with the camera on your computer. And if you've already taken a video, there are ways to edit it so that you can just take your part of the video, shove it out, and do it that way. You should also put hashtag shorts in the description. That's not essential; it's optional. But you know, if you're putting hashtags in there anyway, which you should be, that will help that YouTube algorithm recognize it and promote it. And you can create multiple short videos from one long one. And I didn't talk too much about this, talk a little bit about it, but there's a great way to do a lot of this video stuff is to hire a virtual assistant. And virtual assistants can be done one of two ways. You can either hire them on a gig basis, you know, kind of like, it's like, you know, getting an Uber versus hiring a chauffeur. a gig basis, you just have one thing. Here's my video. Here's what I want you to do with it. I'll come back later if I want some more. Or you can hire somebody for 20 hours a week and have them work for you. It's probably, if you have a lot of work, it's probably cheaper to hire somebody for 20 hours a week. But a good way to get into starting to use a virtual assistant is to go to a place called Fiverr, which I'm going to put in the chat. Fiverr.com. That's great for gig-based VAs, virtual assistants. So you might upload a video or find a virtual assistant on Fiverr who's good at video editing, and you might send him a 20-minute video that you did that you have on YouTube, but you want to take 3 or 4 shorts from it. And so you might say, starting at this time, 20 minutes 2 seconds, and 30 minutes and 5 seconds. You just tell them that. You could send that to them, and for a relatively modest fee, he would go ahead and do it. So you don't have to become the video editing expert and spend a lot of money on video editing software or have a fast computer. You can just have it done for you. You do not see the link. Okay. I just messaged something. So Joan, are you saying that you didn't see what? Oh, it's right there, Fiverr.com, right above you. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what happened? Kayla direct messaged me. And so when somebody direct messages you on Zoom, it then buckets you into just talking to them. So now I'm going to go to everybody, and that was Fiverr.com for, yep, and Upwork.com. I think Upwork is good, Catherine. I've used them. And there are other ones. Again, Upwork is one of the, I think you can do it both gig-based and longer term, if I recall. Catherine, can you use Upwork for hiring somebody long term, or is it just for a specific job? Do you know?
I think you can just do a specific job.
Oh, that's all? Okay. So Upwork.com is another good site. I've used Fiverr. I started with Upwork, and I haven't used it in quite a while because I've been more with Fiverr. But I do have hiring a virtual assistant is a whole process. So if you're interested in that, let me know, and I can connect you with somebody. I wouldn't just hire a virtual assistant because they sent you a message on Facebook. I prefer to go with somebody who works with an organization that I trust and has some oversight into the process. Okay. Next. Interviews are a great way to generate content because it's engaging and you don't have to think of it. All you have to do is have 5 questions, and how do people get a hold of you? Who's your ideal customer? Just come up, and you can Google questions. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna demonstrate this right now. I am going to get out of here. Actually, I'm going to go to Edge. So Edge is the Microsoft internet browser. And I do not want to set it as my default, but I'm going to go to Bing Chat Enterprise. So when you are using Edge, Microsoft's browser, it allows you to go to, Bing is just their search engine, but Bing has been partnered with ChatGPT. So I'm sure that some of you on the line have heard of ChatGPT. That is an AI platform, that artificial intelligence platform that uses text-based interface. And what it does is it goes out and searches the internet. And Google is the best classic search engine on the planet. However, Google is bringing up websites and presenting you with websites. And it's going based upon a very good understanding. It has a lot of AI in it, and it uses AI to parse your question. But what ChatGPT does, it allows you to ask arbitrarily complex questions. So, what are the top 5 questions to ask in a small an interview of a small business entrepreneur? Okay, so attempting to reconnect. Okay, I'm going to reload the page. Okay, now here, another thing is you can go more creative, more balanced, more precise. So if I were doing something on financial or, technical, if I was doing, wanted to look up building codes in California or Tennessee or something, I would go with the more precise. If I were doing my sitcom and story generation, I would do more creative. I'm going to leave it at balanced, and let's see if it takes it again. So what are the top questions to use when an interview with a small business owner? I'm on it. Hang tight. Oh dear. Okay, well, what I will probably do if this doesn't come back quickly, I'm not on VPN, it doesn't look like, so I don't know why they would do that. I've never actually seen that happen. It may be just that I'm using so much bandwidth on Zoom that it's not working. But this is a great way to generate questions, topics. What are things of interest? We'll talk more about it when we talk about generating content and having good topics. Interviews are great because you're interviewing somebody else who has your same audience. Okay, so you share the video with them, they'll share it with their audience because you made them look good, and now their audience is learning how to connect with you, and you made yourself look good by promoting somebody else. And even if they're competitors, if they're willing to come on your show and even if they're a bit competitive, it's probably fine. I wouldn't worry about it. The easiest thing is if they have the same audience but a different product or service. But even if they're competing, so what? If they share the video, you still have content, and if they share the video, they're going to share you with their audience. And even if they don't share the video and they just want you to share them, how bad is it? How competitive is, how big is the pie? The pie is pretty big, and so that might not be a bad thing. So I tend to under worry about competition. Podcasts are a great way also. Similar to interviews, podcasts are great because you're engaging an audience. Interviews are a great thing to do on podcasts. You can reuse the content, so you can take your YouTube stuff and you can maybe start with a YouTube channel, but keep in mind that that's going to be a good piece of content to put on a podcast. That's just an alternate channel. Podcast can either be audio or video, and you can do it both ways. So you can interview guests. You can also get on other people's podcasts. So that's a great way. Once you start getting into the podcasting world, you don't have to have your own podcast. although it's much easier now and cheaper than it used to be. But I would recommend to start doing Facebook Lives, start building an audience, get some followers, even have a YouTube, a Facebook group, right? Putting your stuff on putting your live videos on YouTube, do some shorts to start getting more people watching your videos, and then you go to people and you say, hey, I'd like to be on your podcast. Here's what I have, because they don't want to bring nobody on. They want to know that somebody cares about you, somebody's interested in listening to you, and the more people you have listening to your watching your videos, the more likely they are to want you as a guest on their podcast. All right, boy, you guys are really quiet. I appreciate that you are answering my questions in the chat when I ask you something. But any thoughts? Has anybody done any podcasting? Does anybody have any experience doing a podcast, being on a podcast, or even?
Hey, Gary, this is Evelyn. I've done podcasts. That's what I help people do. So.
Oh, excellent. Well, would you be willing to share a little bit of information with us at the end of the call to let people know how they could start their own podcast?
Yes, and my name is Evelyn Dempsey, and I do have a digital marketing company called Right Markers, and the Lord gave me that, and He's gave me some scriptures to help other people, small businesses, help them in this area of marketing. I'm an accountant by trade, and I am a doctoral student. I am getting my degree in education to help small businesses, entrepreneur. So that's where my heart is at. So anyway, back to marketing your whatever you're going to do. You need to find out what your niche is. I mean, you probably have a lot of things on your mind, a lot of things in your thought, what you want to do, but you're going to have to define who you are and what your thought process, because you got to take one thing at a time. I do have a little outline and will help you kind of think about what you're going to do. But podcast is really easy. It's really, really easy. You could do it on your phone. The challenge that you may have is that you're going to think you're making a lot of mistakes. My advice to you when you're doing video on your phone is count yourself, do a split like 1, 2, 3, and then start talking. Because once you send your video to get it edited, you can cut those spots. So whenever you make a mistake, take a break and then start where you left off and correct it. Because you can always clean that up. So that's where you have that freedom. Just make sure you take some time out. Podcast is really easy. It's just a matter of what you're thinking and who you want to direct that to. Like Gary mentioned, you got YouTube, you got Spotify, you got Google, and Spotify is really free. And what they do is they'll send it, you will have to implement it and send it to other places. Real easy. I probably could give you a lot of information because Gary really came across a lot about marketing, and he's absolutely correct. You can use Facebook. I've used Facebook to try to get my clientele. And I always ask a question, and you do a little short video. Your video will go out a lot further than just putting a presentation out there, just a slide. So you really have to kind of be real creative, whether you put a flower in that's moving. Facebook will use that more so and send it out to a lot of audience. Keywords are important. There's companies that do provide you keywords that what the market is looking at. For instance, if people are looking to get a support group for suicide, there's certain words that they use to search on Google, which help them identify what they're needing. So that's what you want to do. You want to find out what words are really ministering to your audience. I'm a prayer warrior. God called me to be a prophetic, strategic prayer warrior. So I have a website. I have 3 of them actually, and I have a website, and I use keywords like I found out daily points prayer. People are out there Googling daily points prayer. So I would put that in my message, and that would be on my Google search when they go out looking for them. And the more you're exposed to Google, the more your audience is going to come to your webpage. And that's what you want. So you want to create that so you can get the emails and all that. However, I want to get you to recognize it's not that hard. It may cost you a little bit. If you want to do it on your own, it may cost you a little bit. So you got to look at the finances, but you really could do a lot of it through your phone and just find somebody to do your editing and have that communication with them. So, yeah, YouTube. LinkedIn is a great place for business. And again, that has to be video. So you should do that too. Short video. And I love the idea that YouTube has that short video. So my co-host and I we have a podcast called The Plumb Line. And it's about talking about God's word for today. God called us to do that. And I would like to put it on YouTube. He's done YouTube. I have not. But it's just a matter of exploring. And I really don't care how bad I look. I mean, I'm one of those people, I kind of go with the flow, the way I look. But I do edit our video because I do have the platform to do that. I spend a lot of money on that. And just the research. And Gary talked about AI. I thought that was interesting. I use that a lot to find God's scripture. You know how you're talking to somebody and you kind of go blank? And so I'll Google in that sentence and AI will bring it up for me and say, oh yeah, it's in that book, and I'll pull it out. So AI is really a great resource to kind of get your thought process ignited. So I use that. I encourage that. I'm pretty much I'm a life coach. I like to clarify small businesses on the way to get to where God wants them to go. So you could reach out to me. I could send you some things that is purposely for your niche. Hopefully God will provide that for me. I do, like I said, I do podcasts, I do video creation, I edit video, and I am a content creator. It means I do write. I write storybooks. I'm in the process of writing a book called Organizing Chaos with Your Thoughts. I do ebooks. So if you're looking to do ebooks and get it into Kindle, that's my platform. So I just want to provide you with the tools. So any questions you have, God wants me to be that vessel to say, hey, we'll go down this path, or give you the resources where to find it. Now, Catherine, I think you have your hand raised and I'm not sure. Go ahead and talk if you like. Go ahead and ask me the question.
Oh, I didn't have a question. I was just going to share my podcast resource. So I'll link to you.
Awesome. Yeah. So it's really a very good tool to do right now. And I think with all the technology we have, we're really, it's available. So don't kick yourself in the butt, my way of saying things, just do it. And then somebody told me it takes 100 videos to finally you're perfect at it. So just go with the flow. God will give you the resources to go forward. And he wants you to succeed because you're the voice that he has out here in the marketplace. So be encouraged. Be encouraged.
Amen. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I say 50 videos, but yeah, certainly by 100, I don't see, she said 100 videos and you're perfect. And my point is you don't have to be perfect, but after 50 videos, you're going to be polished. So, and as I said, progress is better than perfection.
Exactly right. Exactly right. But you got to start somewhere. So if you're interested in some resources that I kind of put on an ebook, I'll get the email from Gary, and I'm more than willing to talk to you, and we'll go from there and help you be encouraged to go forward.
And why don't you put your contact
a little bit, but not much,
Evelyn, why don't you put your contact information in the chat? So if anyone wants to reach out to you, they can, okay?
Yes, that'd be perfect.
Great. Well, thank you for that. So how do you get the ideas? Because that can be a challenge, what do I say? What do I do? I've got people, coming to me. What do I do? Well, find out what people are already searching for. And I was looking for the websites. I've got a couple. There's some other ones that actually show the actual search terms and which ones are search term ranking. So I could have put that in here, just Google predict, but where it says Google predictions, that's what I love, because if you just start to type in construction, Okay, well, what is it about construction that people are actually searching for? It'll guess for you, and it'll, are they looking for construction paper? Are they looking for construction plans? Or are they looking for a contractor? What are they searching for? And that'll help you. One thing to consider though, Google knows you very, very well. So if you want to take out the Google, personality factor on your search, open up a private window so that Google doesn't know who you are. Because if I type CS, it's going to know that it's probably, for me, it's C.S. Lewis, right? But for somebody else, it might be something totally different. So to get good results, you probably want to open up an incognito or private window before you do that search. So let me know if you don't understand that terminology, and I'll explain it more. But I thank you, Evelyn, for putting your contact information in there. I appreciate that. YouTube also has predictive searches, so you just start typing and it'll pay attention to what they are predicting. They are predicting. That's a very powerful way. I always look at that as I'm going through stuff, because I've gotten attuned to it. That's a very powerful business resource tool. There are other sources. You can take these down. As a matter of fact, I will. Can I do that? You know what? I can't. Let me just see if I can. Well, take a screenshot if you want. I'll hold on this screen for just a bit, because you might want to take a screenshot for getting those sources. And then ask ChatGPT, and that's where I was planning to demonstrate the Bing chat feature. Okay, generating answers. Here are some of the questions that can help you get a better understanding of a small business owner's experience, goals, and values. What inspired you to start your business? What are the biggest challenges you face as a small business owner? What is your company's mission statement? Okay. I want to show you how you can, where is it? Come on, get in here. This website's having a little bit of problem. So I'm not going to, is it taking? No, it's not letting me type in here. Oh, if I continue, maybe that'll do it. Yeah, I just had to hit continue. I don't know why I've never had to do that before. But then if I want, see, you can maintain context. The thing that I wanted to show you here is you can maintain your context, and you say, what is a more interesting personal question that might generate surprising answers. You can't do that in Google, so this is actually, it's going out and searching things, and it's using artificial intelligence in the search, not only to understand what you're saying, so you can use fairly complicated questions. It will also take the information from the internet and put it together for you. Okay, so there, you can see, and if I come up, now that it's responding, I'll see if something else comes up in this conference, I may go back to it. So virtual events, meetup.com is a great resource for people doing marketing. Meetup will actually email your group for you. LinkedIn will also do this. I think we talked about that, but they won't give you their email addresses. So a lot of people will start an event on Meetup, but they will say, for your tickets, you have to go to Eventbrite. Even though it's free, go to Eventbrite to actually sign up for the event. Don't sign up on Meetup. Why do they do that? Because Eventbrite allows you to collect people's email addresses. But Meetup will send emails to your group, and they also do the marketing for you. They are promoting. your business, their business is your business. Your business is their business. So they're actively promoting you to people that they think will be interested in you. So this is a fantastic way to get new people. I've had meetup groups where I haven't even promoted it in years, and people will still join my meetup group because Meetup is still marketing it. Another strategy is taking over people's meetup groups. What will happen is if you are in a meetup group and the organizer steps down, they will email everybody in the email group, in the meetup group, saying, do you want to take it over? So I have actually, I looked at the emails that they send me, and I have a filter in my Gmail account that will automatically notify me if one of those emails comes in, because I can step in and take over that meetup. And you may have 1,000 people, 3,000 people in the meetup, and all you have to do is pay the fee. And the fees are very reasonable if you have less than 3 groups. If you have more than 3 groups, they want to charge you. You're a professional, and so they start charging you. But I think it's even free if you start with just 3 meetup groups, and then you can have multiple email addresses, which can all funnel into one. So Gmail allows you to take email addresses and forward them to another email address. You may have all your different meetup groups defined, but have everything come to the same inbox, which can be very convenient. So how do you get started? Well, just start. Get a social media account or log back in, start creating content, and don't worry about being perfect at the beginning. No one will see your stuff. And by the time people actually start seeing it, you'll have gotten a lot better. And as Evelyn said, don't worry about being perfect. So here's something that I like to call the $1,000 an hour test. If you could make $1,000 an hour, would you like that? I mean, Tim Ferriss wrote the 5-Hour Work Week years ago, and his goal was to outsource everything. You look at this chart and you go, well, let's see, scheduling meetings, replying to emails, bookkeeping, that's $10 an hour stuff. Sales, design, marketing, that's $100 an hour stuff. Doing, creating partnerships, acquiring companies, that could be $1,000 an hour. So decide where you want to spend your time. And a lot of people, will spend 2 weeks creating a website on WordPress or whatever. Well, that's something that you can pay somebody less than $10 an hour to do for you. And again, we talked about Fiverr, we talked about Upwork. Those are great places to find virtual assistants. If you want to hire a virtual assistant full-time or on a regular basis, on an ongoing basis, I recommend you find a company that will help you manage them. And I know somebody who runs a company, a very reputable guy, legitimate guy. So if you're interested in hiring a VA, you could reach out to me. And so keep that in mind. Don't get lost in the minutia. Focus on the stuff that's making videos. That's something that only you can do. People want to know you. They want to see who you are. So focus on the stuff that only you can do and the stuff of the highest return. So you know what is that? I thought I had some other stuff on LinkedIn, but we can do Q&A now. And my offer to you is that I'll give you a 25-minute call to give you an assessment on your business and to give you pointers on how you can kickstart your marketing effort. Just go to my website there. That's from when I was actively doing real estate investing. I've still got my assets, but I'm not actively looking for new deals right now as I'm doing my writing. But you can either click on that QR code, or I'll type that in, calendly.com/passive monthly profits. Let's see, did I type it out? Yep. So if you guys want to talk to me about what you're doing and how you can, really get it rolling based on what we talked about today, you can go ahead and scan the code or click on the link. And I'm in a pilot program right now, as I said, with one other small business owner. And I would consider doing it for one other person right now, just to see if it's something that, God's going to breathe on. He did tell me when I came here, besides my writing, he just said, serve people. And so that's why this came up. This opportunity came up because, people had questions and I had knowledge. And it was Wendy who on our call who asked for help. And so I offered the call to her, and the rest of y'all jumped on board and wanted information. So Catherine, you have a hand raised?
Yes, so I raised my hand because for a couple of things. One is I don't use Facebook. I think a lot of the things that you mentioned on Facebook can be done on LinkedIn. That's my primary source because of my target audience, 33-year-old young professionals. So I know that you said you thought you had a slide on LinkedIn, but I think that pretty much LinkedIn does have LinkedIn Lives
Yes.
that you can do. I know that you can't get emails from LinkedIn. So one of the things you talked about, and I don't know if in LinkedIn groups you do email, you don't have to have an email. You just need to create the group. So how would you suggest getting emails if you're primarily using LinkedIn other than directing them to your funnel or to your landing page?
Well, that is the number one way that I would recommend doing it. Having a landing page. They're very easy to set up, and again, we can talk about it. If you're not sure of how to get started on that. But I would say have a landing page. And that's a great question. I really like LinkedIn because it establishes. I'm going to go to my here, and I'm just going to scroll through. You can probably see this. So we develop content.
If you don't mind me adding to that,
So again, if you just hold on, Evelyn, if you just hold on, I'm kind of in the middle of something, and I'd be happy to have you add on to it. So that, I'm sorry, Catherine, I don't have that. I thought I did, but it's a great way to connect with people who are already active and have your A-list of people you'd really love to connect with. What I recommend you do is you create a list of 10 to 50 people that are influencers or are people with authority and position that could help you promote yourself, and then start following them. And anytime, it's especially good if they're active. I mean, if they're not active on LinkedIn, it doesn't really help. You're not just going to respond. But if somebody's active and engaged and they're in the space of your interest, you just start following them. Anytime they make a post, you can get notified. And so what you should be doing is commenting on their post in a way that takes it further. Like you're saying, hey, I really appreciate, mention something specifically in that, not just, hey, great post, thanks. You say, hey, I really like that you clarified the issue on XYZ. I think this is really important for this segment of your target audience because you're just, and try to shorten it up, but what you're doing is you're taking something that you took the time to read it, to understand it, to bring the value out, and then to expand it for a portion of their target audience. You made them look like a rock star. And so what's good, you start doing that every time they post. Pretty soon they're going to wonder who you are, and then you reach out to them, and either through InMail or however you choose to do that. And now you become somebody who is sort of in their inner circle, and then you ask them to interview them. And then again, I would say, even though you're only on LinkedIn, I would say it's probably a good idea to consider YouTube.
Yeah, I'm thinking about I'm thinking about YouTube. I have another quick question for you about LinkedIn, unless someone else has a question. I don't want to hog the question time. Okay. About posting pods. How do you do posting pods? What are your thoughts on posting pods for LinkedIn?
What are posting pods?
So posting pods are when you post on LinkedIn, because, one of the things with LinkedIn is they're looking for the comment engagement, right? In order to boost
Right.
your posting. So having a posting pod is that you have other people that that when you post, come in and
Oh, great.
comment on it within the first hour, so that it helps the algorithm.
And is that something that LinkedIn allows you to define, so that you can define a group within LinkedIn so that those people get notified?
Well, you don't define the group in LinkedIn, you define the group outside of LinkedIn. So you
Okay, got it.
usually have to engage a posting pod outside of LinkedIn. So I was just
So
wondering
you're,
if you use
just
that
send them
or
a
if you,
text message or some kind of message. Yeah.
yeah,
No, that's a great idea.
okay,
Yeah, I haven't done that, but that sounds like a great idea.
okay, cool. I'll
And there
let
are
somebody
ways that
else
you can boost
ask
your,
questions and then.
okay.
I just didn't,
Now,
I just didn't know if anybody else had questions. So I don't want to be asking all the questions if someone else had questions.
well, Evelyn, did you have something to add?
LinkedIn is really, really a powerful resource because it creates credibility of who you are. I have placed my business on there, and it's just a matter of having that great conversation with everybody in your network, and plus other people who search out certain things. So yes, I would suggest that if you're into doing business to business rather than looking for clients outside of business, that's a great place. But it's really a great platform to show who you are, what you do, and just project your thought process. And you have a lot of credibility, and you can use that for your marketing credentials. And you can say, yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, check me out. And it's just very popular for businesses to hang out in. I think it's great.
Yeah, I at the bottom of every email I send out, I have my a link to my LinkedIn profile. So I agree with that. And it is a great way to establish expertise. Oh, hi, Wendy, you showed up. That's good. I didn't see you at the beginning of the call. Maybe either I missed you or you came on a little bit late, but Wendy was the person who kicked this whole thing off. So glad you're on, Wendy.
Yeah, I just got on at 309.
Okay. My wife is at getting her hair done, and the doorbell just rang. One of the detriments of being in a home office. So I'm going to empty my chair for a minute. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back in about 30 seconds.
Hey, I do want help getting established, all you folks out there. I think Evelyn, I think you and Gary are people that could help me, I guess, just getting started and creating consistency and so forth.
It's a matter of time management, and basically what's really important, because you have to give it at least a couple of hours a week and make that a priority, whatever it is.
All right.
And
So
but the process has got to be defined. I think that's probably the biggest challenge. I have many thoughts. I mean, I have many thoughts, so I write it down all the time, because then I'll just pick one and go with it. So.
Yeah. So I guess
I would recommend. So what were you asking about? Ideas for what to post on or something like that?
No, it's just time management structure.
Well, that, and I'm kind of at the beginning with everything as far as I don't like I'm brand new to establishing like a Facebook landing page, a LinkedIn landing page, or all those things. It would be like I'd be starting from scratch. I've always had personal Facebook and all that stuff, but I've never gone to social media as an outlet. I'm on Psychology Today, and I've gotten my clients through that, but I'm wanting to do some different things, and I want to really start some really cool group healing and growth group type things. And so anyway, I'm just trying to start everything from the scratch. the scratch. You know what I mean? Just getting more influence. And I think part of it too is that my biggest passion is to see America restored to her godly heritage. And I wish there was a way to create things, I don't know, discussion things or whatever, to get people interacting about difficult topics and
Ha,
maybe joining
Wendy,
together. Yeah.
my sitcom is designed for that exact thing. I went to bed one night wondering how can I influence people, because if somebody agrees with me, I don't need to influence them, and if they don't agree with me, they're gonna call me a racist or a bigot or a homophobe or something, and they're gonna shut down the conversation. How do we reach across, because we've become so divided? And so the idea of the
Yeah.
sitcom is an alien comes down from space and he lands. It's kind of like Mork and Mindy meets All in the Family. So if you imagine like Mork landing and trying to figure out what's going on with Archie and Meathead, why can't they just, and Archie Bunker was an idiot, but so this guy, but it's a woke daughter who just graduated from college. They had a great relationship until she went to college and became woke, and then she comes back with all these wild ideas that he thinks are wild, but they're both very idealistic and very polarized. And so the alien in the middle is just trying to figure it out. He can ask questions without being castigated as a this or that, because he doesn't know nothing. And so that's funny. I'm very passionate about that too. And that's funny that you said that. But anyway, why don't you let's see. What I'd like to do is tie. So any other questions here? Because I want to. We're down at the 90 minutes, so I did want to kind of tie it off. Does anyone have any additional questions?
Your
Catherine jumps in with her next
calendar
question.
is currently unavailable.
What's that?
Your calendar is currently unavailable. So I clicked on the link. It actually took me to the page I saw you. And when I tried to click on any of the you had 25, 55, and 15 minutes. I thought you said 25. So I clicked on it and it goes to a page that says the calendar is unavailable.
Okay, I'm sorry, I haven't used that in a while. Let me send something. I'll send something out to everybody.
I just wanted you to know because I was trying. That's all.
Thank you, Catherine.
Yeah.
So I will look. I've got all your emails, so I'll send you a little something to follow up. And yeah, like as a writer, I didn't need that facility, so the link didn't go someplace, unfortunately, because I did test it. I scanned it with my camera and I saw the page pop up, and so I figured, okay, it's good. But yeah, I'll reach out to all of you, and hopefully we can do something together. And I wish all of you the best. And let me just say a quick prayer. Lord, I just want to bless everyone on this call with grace, and I'm declaring your provision over each one of them, that the enemy is coming to lie to you and say that you don't belong, that you don't have what it takes, that you're not good enough, that it's not going to work, that it's going to take too long. And all those things are lies. And I just pray, Lord, that you would really blow on the flames that you've already started, and just start to increase the fire, and increase the passion, and increase the confidence. And especially for Wendy, Lord, this is a good thing for her. This is a perfect time for her to do this. There's been no better time in history for somebody to come along who has a beautiful God-breathed idea and to promote it through social media. We've never had this capability, and it's something that is being used for evil at times, but Lord, we're just going to use it for good, and we're going to glorify you every step of the way. And I just thank you for this call and for everyone on the call, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Gary, for your time. I greatly appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Gary.
All right. Thank
Fun.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.